And Andy, you essentially say that if crypto adoption primarily happens through exchange-traded funds or other centralized products, that essentially your argument is it's going to run counter to the whole thesis behind this technology, which is decentralization. But can this technology really reach its full potential if it isn't legitimized and validated in this way?
No, Kailey, I think you're exactly right. It is important, and this is a big milestone for the industry. But for me, the thing to remember is that the Bitcoin ETFs are not actually true crypto. They are a financialization of the industry, and that's important for validation, important for people to come in. But it's not the same thing. It's a little bit like saying gold ETFs are here, so we no longer need gold jewelry or other use cases for gold. That's not true. They're two separate things. There's the financialization of the asset, and there's the assets themselves and what they can do. And I think the Bitcoin ETFs coming is great, especially the industry native ones like Bitwise and 21 Shares. I think those are awesome. But we have to keep building in the industry to use the technology in ways that are actually productive. So products like My Wallet Beam, that's a cross-border payments product, all of these things are really useful and can use the technology to provide real benefit to people in the same way that jewelry is a useful product that people actually want to use, separate from the speculation and investment in it for just exposure to the price itself. And I think if the industry forgets that there are actual products to build and real consumers to serve and needs to fulfill, then we will have wasted all this technology just on a purely financial asset. And I think that's not the point.
Well, Andy, could you see a situation where there's almost a divide in the investor base of Bitcoin? Sure, you have sort of the retail, non-crypto native folk just investing in these ETFs, maybe viewing it similar to digital gold and putting it in that bucket of their portfolio. And then you have this other world that exists that is actually building and doing things with that technology that, like you mentioned, has been being developed for the past decade plus.
No, I think that's exactly right. My hope is that the ETFs will bring a ton of attention, a ton of new people, and the industry itself that's building the products for people can then use that as a funnel to get those people interested and make them then question, well, I invested in this because I'm interested in speculating on it, but what's actually behind this? What's the technology? Why is it useful? And I'm hoping that the industry building products based on this technology can then treat the ETFs as sort of a top of funnel lead generation, get these people interested in these actual products, and then drive adoption of the end products. And that's my hope. So I hope the Bitcoin ETFs can accomplish that. But my fear is that if the Bitcoin ETFs become the dominant and only way that people get exposure to this space, then all of a sudden we won't have people using these products anymore. And that's really scary to me, especially because if you go all the way back to the original genesis of Bitcoin, in the very first block of Bitcoin, Satoshi, the pseudonymous creator of Bitcoin, put this phrase, chancellor on the brink of the second bailout of banks. And what Satoshi was saying was, this technology can help save us from the challenges that come with these centralized financial institutions that we're bailing out these banks that are failing. Bitcoin could solve this by creating this new and independent thing. And that, to me, is the core promise of the technology. And I just really hope the industry does not forget this and let itself be totally dominated by large financial institutions instead of actual people and actual products that provide real benefit.